Welcome back to Showbiz Tonight. I'm Brooke Anderson in Hollywood. Tonight, Jen on her men. Jennifer Aniston dishes big time in a jaw-dropping interview with Vogue magazine on her relationships with Brad Pitt, Vince Vaughn, John Mayer, and what she really thinks of Angelina Jolie. Joining me tonight in Hollywood, Laura Saltman, who is a correspondent for AccessHollywood.com. Also tonight in Hollywood, Carlos Diaz, who is a correspondent for Extra. Laura, Carlos, as we know, until now, Aniston has never spoken publicly about Brad and Angelina. Last year, Angelina told Vogue in detail how her relationship with Brad developed on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, while Jennifer was still living with Brad. Now, listen to what Aniston is telling Vogue. Quote, "There was stuff printed there that was definitely from a time when I was unaware that it was happening. I felt those details were a little inappropriate to discuss. That stuff about how she couldn't wait to get to work every day, that was really uncool." Laura, why do you think Aniston has chosen now to speak out?
I think it's really twofold, because she actually was given the article, the Vogue article that Angelina did back in January of '07, so she had read it. And the other point is, and I think Carlos knows and you know, when we do these big celebrity interviews, we get maybe 20 minutes with them. There's not a lot of bonding time, but these magazine interviews, they'll go to their homes, they'll spend hours with them. So there's a very tight bond that they have with writers, and I think that's why sometimes they'll open up a lot more than we could ever get them to.
Yeah, this was a two-parter. The writer spent time at Jennifer's new home in Los Angeles, also spent time with Jennifer in New York as well. Good point. And the guy who interviewed Aniston is Vogue writer Jonathan Van Meter. And listen to what she told him about her divorce from Brad Pitt. She said that she doesn't even remember the difficult part, saying, quote, "I've got to tell you, it's so vague at this point. It's so far away in my mind. I can't even remember the darkness. I mean, in the end, we really had an amicable split. The marriage didn't work out. And pretty soon after we separated, we got on the phone and we had a long, long conversation with each other and said a lot of things. And ever since, we've been unbelievably warm and respectful of each other." Carlos, this is fantastic to hear. Are you surprised, though, to hear that Jennifer still has what sounds like a really healthy relationship with Brad?
Not at all. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for Brad Pitt to be so loved by so many people, and for Jennifer Aniston to be so loved by so many people, and for them to be jerks in real life. I mean, they're two great people, you know, and that's why we all love them. So it would only make sense that they're two great people together. And they, you know, there's so much that people want to say in the media about, ooh, he said, she said. When it comes down to it, they were married and they spent a great deal of time together. So it makes sense that they would have that conversation and want to remain friends.
Yeah, and Jennifer has definitely kept her dignity throughout the entire ordeal. And now, you guys, I want to talk about John Mayer. For the first time, Aniston is also speaking about Mayer blabbing to the paparazzi that he had made the decision to break up with Aniston. In Vogue, Aniston was surprisingly cool about the whole thing, saying, quote, "He had to put that out there that he broke up with me, and especially because it's me. It's not just some girl he's dating. I get it. We're human, but I feel seriously protective of him and us. Trust me, you'll never see that happen again from that man." She went on to say that they still really love each other. Laura, how forgiving can one woman be between this and Brad Pitt? It is pretty incredible, don't you think?
I think it's amazing that she actually even acknowledged the relationship with John Mayer. You know, they've been dodging the paparazzi as much as they can, and just to hear her talk about him was kind of shocking. All around the office, we were talking about that today. But, you know, look, she's in a relationship, and as we all know, it's two people are in this relationship, and what everybody else sees is only what they see. We don't really know what's going on with her. So, you know, she's just going to do what she's going to do and say what she's going to say based on her feelings, not what the tabloids say or what the public has to say about her.
Yeah, you're right about that. And John and Jennifer do seem to genuinely care about each other. And Jennifer also spoke openly about her relationship with Vince Vaughn, saying, quote, I love this, "I call Vince my defibrillator. He literally brought me back to life. My first gasp of air was a big laugh. It was great. I love him. He's a bull in a china shop. He was lovely and fun and perfect for the time we had together. And I needed that. And it sort of ran its course." Carlos, whether it's Vince, John, Brad, I'm really struck by the fact that Jennifer remains friends with all her exes. She's really mature about it, isn't she?
She's greatly mature about it. And, you know, the whole Vince Vaughn thing, I mean, when we look back on Vince Vaughn, let's be honest, he was the rebound guy. People don't remember, but they didn't get together. They didn't get together like at a club or a restaurant. They were shooting a film together called The Breakup. So here she is getting all this cathartic energy out on the set, you know, after her breakup with Brad Pitt. And who's right there? Vince Vaughn. So everyone knew. I mean, he's a great dude that everybody wants to hang out with. Everyone knew they would hook up, and then they would break up.
And, you know, it seems that Jennifer really appreciated her time with him. This revealing interview, so out of character for Jen. She's usually so private and reserved. It's incredible. We'll leave it there. Carlos Diaz, Laura Saltman, thank you both.